Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech, and I'm here with my quick vignette video on the Mi A3 versus the Mi A2. This is just a quick take here. I'm not doing this as a full comparison, but just wanted to share my thoughts as a complement to the Mi A3 full review, and really just share why I think that this Mi A3 could be an upgrade to the Mi A2 in some ways, but maybe because of the elephant in the room, as we all know, the 720p resolution, why you still may be better set picking up or continuing to use the Mi A2. Now, in terms of design, this is definitely an upgrade over the Mi A2. This metal back on the Mi A2 has definitely aged. This whole design kind of ethos is one that just is kind of past its prime. Most of the glass sandwich phones we have today are doing a lot of cool things with the backs. You're able to include new sensors, wireless charging, and the like. And this phone just reminds me of the OnePlus 5 and a previous era of smartphone design. It's not to say it's a bad design. I enjoyed the Mi A2 in all its time of use, but the Mi A3 is definitely an upgrade in terms of design. And in terms of battery life, the Mi A3 is also an upgrade. With a 4030 mAh battery, a full 1030 over the Mi A2. This phone is going to last longer, and I can just tell from my experience of use, it is doing really well in terms of battery life. In terms of performance, and we can look at that real quick here. I did just run the Geekbench scores on the Mi A2 again, and there you see the scores. They are actually pretty close, but the surprising thing is that the Mi A2 still scores higher in single core scores versus the Mi A3. Now, I know what you guys have said, the 660 is actually clocked higher than the 665, and you're seeing that result right here, but the multi-core score is still higher on the Mi A3. Now, does this represent a major upgrade over the previous generation? And I would say that the answer is no, definitely not. And so for you guys considering the Mi A3 is an upgrade in terms of performance, that will not be the case here. In terms of audio, the Mi A3 did pretty well in my testing. And as you heard in the previous video, if you haven't checked that out, go listen to my audio test. But it's still not a major jump over the Mi A2. The one area where it is a major jump is in the cameras. And in the cameras, you have much better sensors included in the Mi A3. With a Sony IMX586, you have the ultra-wide and the depth sensor, that's right. Whereas on the Mi A2, you only had a 12 megapixel and a 20 megapixel, and you had that depth sensor. And so the camera experiences here on the Mi A3 are definitely an upgrade. And so you may think this is the ultimate upgrade over the Mi A2. And I will have to be honest, the answer is no. It is not. And a big part of that has to do with the elephant in the room with the Mi A3, and that's the resolution. Now, the resolution on the Mi A2 is 1080p. It's using a standard LCD panel, and it is a decent panel. It's nothing special, but it does the job. And I think the main point about the use of this phone, which is getting, it has now gone quite a bit slow on me over the year. But when it comes to just regular day-to-day use, the display doesn't become a distraction, and the resolution is good enough. I cannot say the same for this Mi A3. And it's interesting because I actually showed this phone to some of my friends last night, and I showed it to some of my colleagues earlier in the day. They are not phone people. Some of them are, some of them aren't. One of the girls I showed it to, she's definitely just a typical phone user, and I asked her to look and compare this display to a typical 1080p LCD, and she immediately said that this display was worse. She's not a phone buff. She doesn't know about this stuff. And she just immediately said that this was not as clear. The colors look good, but the text was not crisp. And she just said she could tell immediately. And I think that is the problem. Because the 720p resolution compromise on the Mi A3 is not something that is a small thing. It is something that even the most basic layperson who uses a phone will actually notice. And in this case, she noticed it immediately, and it immediately turned her off from liking the phone. The same was said to my buddies yesterday, who the moment they saw this display started comparing it to their Galaxy S3s, their Galaxy Nexus phones that were released a half a decade ago with this same resolution. Now, a resolution of 720p in a smaller display is maybe acceptable. And the main point here is that because of the pentile matrix of the AMOLED kind of display technology, you do need to go higher resolutions to be able to avoid those jagged edges that we see in text on the Mi A3. The Mi A2 avoided this problem entirely by including just a full HD 6-inch display. It made the display a non-issue. It's not the best display. It's not the worst display. It's a display, and it does the job okay. But unfortunately, in this case, because of the resolution, despite including AMOLED at this price point, which was a great and noble effort, and despite the really nice colors and the inky blacks, not having that full HD resolution is a major design compromise. And so you may be wondering, what if this phone had a full HD display? Well, that's the end of this quick video, guys, because I'm going to segue right into the next one, and that is the Mi A3 versus the Mi A3 Pro. And clearly this is not the Mi A3 Pro, this is the Xiaomi CC9, but we're going to talk about what would have happened, or what could Xiaomi have done, or what could they still do if they release an Android One type phone like the Mi A3 in a Pro version with a full HD AMOLED display. So let's get into that video now. But if you like this quick vignette video, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. Doing these rapid fire, guys. I'm flying out to the UK in like 6 hours, so I gotta get these out. Thanks for watching, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.